All right. All right, what's good?
What's good?
For the people who don't know you, introduce yourself and what it is you do.
My name is Josephine. I'm from The Next Chapter. We're a nonprofit organization that covers multiple parts of the city, which is Aurora, Denver, I'm going to say it in the county way, Arapahoe County, Douglas County, Denver County, and we're trying to go for Jefferson County. So
that's dope. So are you originally from Denver?
No, I grew up in Chicago, and I grew up in Iowa.
Oh man, I never met anyone from Iowa.
Okay, so a little bit about my background. My mom was an addict and my dad was the dealer, so he fed her addiction. So there was a time where my mom wanted to get away from that to go clean, so she had moved us to Iowa. So I spent most of my life doing 6 months with dad and 6 months with mom, so I kind of from both.
That's nice. Well, not really nice, but at least you had both. So how was that childhood?
It was a little difficult because as my mom was trying to fight her addiction, she ended up still relapsing, and so the state took us away from my mom when I was 6. And so growing up in the detention centers, foster homes, anything that had to do with the system, basically group homes and stuff like that, it was kind of challenging.
Okay. So how long were you in that, like up to you were an adult?
By then, I had a lot of resentment towards my mom, and so she did everything in her power to get clean, get us back, but she wanted us back when I was 12, and so I didn't want to go back. I held that resentment, and so I stayed in there, aged out until 14 when I was emancipated by the state of Iowa, and I was on my own.
At 14?
At 14. I went into an independent living program, got me a job, and they set me up real nice.
So how did you make your way back to Denver, or make your way to Denver?
So at 16, I had met this guy in high school, and we hooked up or whatever. I had a baby at 17, and he was real abusive.
Yeah.
And so my friend was from Denver, and she had moved down there to Iowa, and she was with her parents trying to get her life on track. But then she was like, I want to go back to Denver. Would you like to go with me? And I was like, yeah, I want to go to Denver. At this point, I didn't really have any like felonies or anything like that, so I had researched Denver a little bit, and my goal was to come up here and be a police officer, because I seen that you guys had the best police academy out here in Colorado Springs. Of course, that didn't happen.
Right. She wanted to be a cop.
So I came up here and I got involved with the wrong crowd, did some other things that took that dream kind of from me.
Okay. So in a way, it kind of led to what you do now, like being through that?
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
So I was going to say, what or who made you fall in love with service or this type of service, but you kind of said it, but would you explain it anyway? What made you fall in love with helping people?
Well, I always thought like our EMTs, our police officers, our firefighters, and they're all in their position because they wanted to be a part of change. Yeah. You know, when you go into those positions, you want to make an impact, you know, because you see some type of gap or some type of injustice flaw to where you want to make it better, and you believe you can do that. Yeah. And so that was the dream, is to just make an impact of change and let it be strong, you know, and be for the people. And so I was always attracted to that.
So how did you end up like getting into the nonprofit world?
Well, it was kind of crazy because I've always been like a resource queen to my friends and my peers and stuff, trying to always tell them like, go here, you can get help here. They help me. Right. And so it just kind of became to where I navigated through the system and navigated my peers through the system, and I was like, there's got to be more people than us that need this same help. Right. And so we made it a nonprofit.
So what are the nonprofit's called The Next Chapter, no E's in there, NXT chapter. Mm-hmm. What is the details and the mission of The Next Chapter? So
The Next Chapter accommodates ex-offenders upon release of incarceration. So most of the time, people that are going to jail are either dealing with some sobriety issues, you know, or they're just committing crimes. And so we tackle both of them. We tackle helping you be in recovery, and we help tackle you not reoffending. how we do that is we set things in place. My team is my family, right? That I made out here in Colorado, that God blessed me with. And so we just took our same steps of navigating through this system and pulling the resources together to create a one-stop shop. And so, yeah, now people don't have to travel so far to connect to these resources because they're in-house.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So talk about like your journey forming it. Like, was it scary? Because I know you was in uncharted waters. You never formed a nonprofit or probably a business. I don't know. But like, how was your journey forming it and like getting it legit?
Hard. I will say that was a lot of hard work and dedication. Like, being a street person and being knowledgeable of that, you kind of lack a little bit of your textbook side.
Right.
And so it took a lot of textbook. It took a lot of workshops. It took a lot of classes. You had to go back to school to learn how to run a business. Yeah. Then you had to go network yourself and find people that can give you the information that ain't in those textbooks, that are behind the scenes. So it was real hard.
So who are your partners, and like how dependent were you on them early on?
My partners is my family.
Yeah.
And I was dependent all the way on them because, like I said, I came up here at 17. And so a lot of my partners of my family, they were the ones that were teaching me stuff. Right. You know, teaching me how to be a better version of myself, teaching me how to be together, you know, unity. And so I always depend on them to get my best knowledge from anything. So I was always going to them asking questions. What they didn't know, they researched and found out and brought it back. You know?
Yes, yeah. How long have you been in operation?
This is my 3rd year. May was my 3rd year.
Man, what was your most successful event or program you've run?
My book, publishing a book that provided curriculum of the steps that I took, because being in foster cares and all that, I got to know a lot about the system and where their gaps and flaws were because I lived it. And so I was like, if we put these steps in there, it can kind of improve. I mean, it won't make a big drastic change right away, but I knew it would improve some of it. So my book, the seed program, you know, planting the seed in the minds of individuals to better condition themselves in life.
Where can that book be found?
Through me. On nextchapter.org.
Nextchapter.org. Dope. Describe your first time like getting approved for funding. Like, how was that, and how was the process of even applying for funding, let alone getting rewarded?
The process of applying for funding was the hardest challenge of this.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, when you're not all the way book smart, you filling out them applications for grants and stuff like that, they're a little bit of an obstacle. It's like, they're worse than filling out for houses and cars and stuff. They want DNA.
They want the arm and the leg.
They want all that. And so if you're not like educating yourself to, you know, be able to process things and understand them, you're going to struggle a little bit with that. But what I found myself doing is going into other organizations and asking these people, can they teach me? Yeah. So they took time out of their schedules, and thank you for everybody that did that, to teach me. And I sat there and I learned. I was constantly in school doing this. Yeah.
Just utilizing your resources in your community. That's kind of what I do. If I don't know something, I'm hitting somebody up. Like, I'm hitting somebody about that paperwork right there.
And if it wasn't our people, it was Google, YouTube, it was all those things that we have access to.
Right.
You just got to apply yourself.
Yeah, you got to really want it. How does it feel when you bring somebody into your program or you help somebody and it's like you can see it had a real sustained change on them, like you positively affected someone's life?
It's funny you say that. So when I was starting this, I'm a real spiritual person. Yeah. So I always ask God what it is you want me to do before I do it. And when he was revealing to me that I needed to give my story, that, you know, so that I can have that relatability towards people, in order to tell them this is how I did it and you can believe it, because now that I'm the example to you. So one thing I was battling with is telling people is that I was sexually abused as I was a kid and into my teenage years. And so I was like, God, you want me to tell that? I ain't ready to tell that. That was something I was ashamed of.
Right.
But it wasn't until that moment when I did a speech in front of, a lot of people. And after I did that, people come up to me, girls, males, and they were like, I was so scared to tell that story. How'd you do it? You inspired me to know that I can move forward with my life and I don't have to stay blaming those people for what they did. And it highlighted me. I was vibrant at that point, like, dang, it really does work as long as you tell the truth about your story.
Wow. Well, that's really, it's really inspiring. I don't know cheesy shit, but it really is. How do you handle haters? Because I know in every industry, anything you do, there's always someone trying to put some negativity into what you do. I
kind of thank them, because the haters got to talk about you too, right?
Yeah.
So they're kind of like free promotion.
Thank you.
It's like a thank you.
Josie out there doing what?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna check her out.
That's what happens.
Then they're like, oh, Josie's, you was tripping.
Yeah.
What you doing over here, Josie?
Yeah, that's it. So I thank them.
Right.
I pray for them too.
Definitely. Is there anything on this path, on this journey, that you wish you did differently?
I wish I would have picked it up sooner.
Me too.
And that's the only thing I can say I wish I would have did different. I thank God for all my experiences that I went through and all the trials and tribulations and obstacles and challenges, because it built me.
Right.
And now I don't see nothing that I can't conquer. If I didn't go through all that, I wouldn't be able to go through this. And so now I just go through all my barriers, busting through them. Now I won't lie. Sometimes I pout a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, this is going to try to block me. But I try my best not to give up. Like you said, Vic, my slogan is, what I tell people, you have to want it. You have to question yourself and ask yourself, how bad do you want it?
Right.
And you have to tell yourself constantly in your head, like, I'm the one standing in my way. Nothing else is stopping me, and push forward.
Ooh.
I tell the people I work with all the time, I need you to believe in you. I can believe in you as much as possible, but if you don't believe in you, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So it all comes from within.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. What's your ultimate goal with the next chapter?
My ultimate goal is to be mandated in all the states.
Ooh.
And that, because crime is global, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go international. I want my program mandated through every courthouse.
Mandated.
I want mandated.
Meaning it has to happen.
It has to happen. You have to go through the next chapter, because I know it works. I'm the living example of it does.
So it mandated as in, like,
when they get sentenced or before they get sentenced, they say you have to go through the next chapter's program.
Ooh, that's dope. I see that though. I see that. It's like it serves nothing but good though.
Mm-hmm. So, because we're actually now trying to help people with housing. We're helping them with, we're partnered with DHA and partnered with DHS, and now we can send people there to get their food stamps, their Medicaid, to get that jump start on life. Because what was happening to a lot of people that are out here in the poverty areas, they just don't know where these places are.
Yeah.
So when you go out there and tell them you have access to these same resources that I do, and let me help you, they're all in.
I love it. What's the next chapter for the next chapter?
The next chapter for the next chapter is just helping as many families reintegrate back into society as possible. There's no number on it.
Right. This is limitless work.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that my questions didn't cover that you just want to say?
I would like to say, everybody check us out at nextchapter.org. You can email us at nextchapterorg@gmail.com, and just go ahead and sign up. We got a lot of good things going on. We have classes every Thursday for people that are facing any obstacles or challenges with dealing with sobriety, recovery, or any challenges being out of incarceration.
Right.
So step into a circle of people that are like you so they can assist you. It takes us to help us. That's how I do it. It's a movement.
That's dope. So the bulk of the interview is over. You know what I'm saying? We got to know you, your mission, what's next for you, what you have to offer. I'm about to ask you some random questions that don't really have nothing to do with the next chapter. It has to do everything to do with you.
Okay, about my personality.
Yeah, just a little teasers, just some random stuff. Chicken or beef questions. What's your favorite non-work activity?
Music.
Ooh.
I love music. That is my vibe. That is my zone. And it kind of gives me the words that sometimes I can't say.
Right.
You know, so music.
Running for you.
My therapy.
When life gets tough, who's your crutch?
God.
Period. Seafood or soul food?
Soul food.
Any soul food in particular?
And let me give you a little secret. So my mom is Puerto Rican and my dad is Cuban. So I grew up always eating Spanish food. So it wasn't until I stepped outside of my circle and taste that Southern food. And that was life changing. So I like it all.
Look, this goes right.
It's a little bit of why I'm a little weighted now. You know, working on it.
It is what it is. You got other things going very well, so it is what it is. Favorite thing to cook?
I love Spanish food.
Okay.
You know, I'm always down for a smothered burrito with some green chili.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds good right now. I'm on a little diet. I'm on day 3 of it.
Me too. I'm on a 30-day challenge with my husband of eating no meat.
I'm on day 3. I haven't had no meat.
We're on week 1.
Oh man, I'm gonna catch up. You have them withdrawals when you first start too.
Especially when you smell somebody in the kitchen cooking.
Be up there like, man. Yes. Favorite book?
The Coldest Winter Ever.
Who's that by?
By Sister Soldier.
Never heard of it.
It's so much of a good book. It's about this girl. She's telling her story about being in the streets and the hood and all that stuff and what it is we kind of relate to it, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know until you got to the end, she was telling her story from prison and telling you not to do it. And it's a true story. And it's so good of a book that Jada Pinkett and Will Smith are about to come out with the series. And I read that book when I was a teenager.
Oh, you know, Will Smith part of it is going to be dope. I don't know about Jada, but
yeah, she's a little different. She's a little different now.
It's different. It ain't like you Kane's girlfriend no more. Yeah, set it off no more.
Right.
You a little different
She's
now.
Different.
You the villain right now.
But aren't we all?
Yeah. We all evolved, good or bad. But she might evolve in a good way. We might just misunderstand her.
That's it.
Top 3 music albums of all time.
I'm more of an R&B person, and I'm kind of stuck in the 90s, and so I love me some Escape.
Yep.
I love me Monica, but as of right now today, I love me some Drake. I love Drake.
Drake's that guy. They better stop hating on you.
Yeah, Drake is cool. And it's more of me being passionate about Drake's lyrics. Like he said something in one of his songs, Aston Martin with Rick Ross, that he wrote his Grammy speech before he came big, and he knows the pinnacles he plans to reach. And so that's always stuck with me, and I use that in my everyday life.
I like that. Mm-hmm. And he manifested that. That's all
he
it was.
Did that.
All right. Old school cars or new school cars?
I'm kind of bougie, new school.
All right. Mm-hmm. I'm box Chevy guy.
And that's why you spend a lot of money getting it fixed, because the parts have to,
it's worth it. When I get that bag right, that's probably going to be my daily driver, a box Chevy.
And it's going to be your daily pocket.
Yeah, it will.
I'm a Benz girl.
Yeah. I want a Benz too. I want that G-Wagon bad.
Yeah, see?
I want the G-Wagon bad. All right. Your go-to shoe.
My go-to shoe?
Yep.
Okay, Jordans.
Right.
I have a Jordan closet, but as I'm getting older, my feet are letting me know that, it's an Air Max thing. Straight up.
That's funny. That's funny as hell.
It's real.
I've never been a Jordan dude. I've been like comfortable Nike.
See, back to Nike.
Guy.
They're comfortable.
All right. Fill in the blank. Don't play no blank around me. That could be music. That could be attitude. Don't play no blank around me.
Don't play no mess. Just no mess.
Bad. I always say don't play no bullshit around me.
That's it. That's all coming with mess.
Yeah, don't play no 6ix9ine or no probably this that. Don't play no Backstreet Boys.
I used to bump the Backstreet
No,
Boys.
I ain't even gonna lie. That I kind of know the intro to that song, and I caught myself singing it one day. And
You can't knock our history though, because now what they're doing is remaking our songs for this generation. They're just
Right.
messing them up. They're
Yeah, it
taking the
just
beats and their lyrics ain't matching the beat.
it ain't living up.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what they thought we was doing in our generation to the
Yeah.
to the 80s songs. Like
Yeah.
this rap ain't living up to this R&B.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they stuff sucks.
But before we close this interview out, Vic, can I
Yeah.
just say thank you to all my supporters,
Yeah.
my team, because without a team, the dream doesn't work.
Right.
And my husband for, just kind of always pushing me to be my best and to not give up. He's my biggest supporter. He's my biggest cheerleader. He rides for me and he loves me. So thank you.
Yeah. Can we say his name?
Marquell
Shout out to
Burton.
Marquell, man. Yeah. I got one last question for you. What is your happiest moment this year?
I just got funding yesterday, and I'm a 6-figure girl. That's my biggest moment right there.
Let's go. All right, I have a couple more questions, but you know what I'm saying? That's a good ending right there. Mm-hmm. This is the portion of the episode or interview where I tell my guests to pretty much talk their shit, but you kind of been talking your shit throughout the whole thing. So I'm gonna still let you do it again. Okay. So at this time, you can look into the camera, say whatever you want, to however you want, to whoever you want. Promote your socials, promote, where to find the next chapter, promote all that. Just the floor is yours. Say whatever you want to say to the camera.
Hit us up at nextchapter.org. Get yourself rolled in these programs that will help you. Hit my boy Vic up for some of his services as well. To all you business owners, all you nonprofits, he makes the dream work. So just hit us up.
Bet. I'm Vic Carter. This is Josie, boss lady of the Next Chapter nonprofit. It's been another episode of What's Good.